Big Mike. Man, it has been way, way too long in
Agreed.
seeing you. In fact, and I know we talked about this before when we spoke over the phone. I think the very last time I saw you was at a Cirque du Soleil, whatever the hell it's called.
Cirque du Soleil.
So I can't even say it. My show, and that would have been like maybe 2 years ago, man.
Was it that long ago already? Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
went to the premiere. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
yeah.
You know what? That might have been 3 years ago
Could have
at
been
this.
three
Yeah,
because it was
that.
on Lakeshore.
Yes, yes, yes. Man.
Time's flying.
Pandemic life, brother.
How are you doing, and how's that beautiful fiance holding up through all of this?
Oh man, thank you. We're doing great. I mean, everybody's healthy, so can't complain. I mean, obviously, there's a few things in our life. I know we were talking last time we were releasing. I was releasing the first single. We were postponing the wedding, if you remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's officially, something we're always watching the restrictions every day, trying to figure out what's going on now. But again, everybody's got their health. We got our first vaccine, our first shot, so that was, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So feeling great, man. Feeling
I,
great.
I'm curious. I don't think we had a chance to talk about this. How did you propose?
Oh, you know what? It was great actually. We had her Amanda was trying to set up a photo shoot for her dad's birthday, which is actually
Mhm.
the same day as her parents' anniversary. So we had her whole family there, all dressed up nice. We went to this a beautiful nature hike trail that we all love to go to, and her brother-in-law is like one of like Toronto's biggest photographers. This guy is like
Nice.
unbelievably talented and stuff. So I sort of worked out with him that he was going to get ready at the end of the photo shoot with the whole family there. We would, I drop to the knee and do the question. And then I had, dinner at the Shangri-La Hotel set up after
Oh,
that. We had a whole, yeah. So, I mean, it was beautiful. You know what? I'll never forget this. So I dropped to my knee and I asked her the question, and she starts like, screaming and crying a little bit. And she goes to grab the ring, and I'm like, "Hey, you have to say yes." I'm like, you don't just get it."
did you have any nightmares of what if by the slightest chance that she said no? Or one of the things which I love watching on YouTube is when guys are doing the proposal and something happens to the ring, like it falls in the lake or something like that.
Sure, sure. You know what? So, not to sound overconfident, but
Yeah.
we've been together for a long time, so I wasn't worried about. Well, I guess I was hoping it was going to go well, but I wasn't too worried about it. But the other part of your question, absolutely. Like I'm the guy who like can't find his keys, loses things around the house all the time, and so like I must have had my hand in my pocket like 200 times during the photo shoot. Is like, is the box there? Is the box there? And it was actually great because walking down the path to get to where we were going to go, her dad came up, Jack, who's we're greatest guy, super close, puts his arm around me, and he's just like, "So when is it going to happen?" And I was like, "Okay." But the story that makes that even funnier is that I had asked him for his permission. I called him up, asked him for his permission, a little bit before,
Smart.
old
Smart.
fashioned that way.
Yeah.
I think. I think that's something that we shouldn't let go of. It shows a little bit of respect, and I think it's a tradition that has its charms, and I definitely liked it. But I told him like not to come, and so I'm in an Uber and I'm heading down to his place to say hi, and I guess Amanda calls him and he's like, "Is everything okay? Like Mike's coming over," and I think it clicked in, and he's like, "Oh no, I think I'm supposed to go." I think I'm supposed to go to his house or something. And he tried to catch it up, but like, yeah, Jack almost spoiled it. So if
Oh
you're
my
watching,
goodness.
Jack, thanks again, buddy.
There you go. Now, just curious too, because of course we're in the season of
Yeah.
people getting engaged and stuff. How did you go about buying the ring and making sure you got the right ring? Because did this happen during COVID or before COVID?
No, but this was before. This
Okay,
was
before.
before.
So
Yeah.
how did you go about choosing the ring and knowing it was the right one for her?
Man, so I took a risk. So my one of my family's like closest friends is a jewelry company called Classic Creations in Toronto, and uh, we, I grew up with their family and stuff, and they did me a solid. So we got together and we actually designed the rig
Oh,
from scratch, which is something I've never done. I had no idea about, stones or clarity or any of that kind of stuff. So, but it was great, and they definitely had to put up with me because I was like, hemming and hawing and just making sure, I think I walked out like 10 times. I was like, I got to think about this. And but no, they were amazing. It was the greatest experience, and yeah, we got something that was completely unique and from my heart to hers. So I
fantastic!
hope he
Congratulations
likes
on
it.
that. But like I said, but you are right though, man. You have to who and ha and what if you don't get this right, man. I
All
mean,
right,
because you only
look,
get one shot at this. You
biggest
know,
pressure decision ever. No,
fantastic.
it was easy. It was it was something I absolutely knew I was gonna do, and designing it was just fun and great, and it was yeah, it turned out to be awesome.
So here you are, you're trying to get this, engagement going, wedding going, things
Yep.
like that. And you got a pandemic happening throughout this time. So it's holding off when you guys are going to walk that aisle.
Oh no, we had actually built a wedding.
You
we had
literally,
we had gone through the whole thing, built a wedding, had a caterer, had the venue, had the band, the whole 9 yards, and then slowly we're watching the restrictions and everything changing. We're like a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people were going through this, sort of realizing that this was probably going to change.
oh,
So,
I
and
could,
and then we had a second, and we had a even a smaller option, micro wedding sort of set up, and then, I mean, just recently, now we're in the third wave again, so the restrictions have all changed again. So we're like, okay, all right, well, luckily we are working with some incredible vendors and incredible people who have just been great, and been really cool about postponing and sliding things around and just being really flexible with that. So very fortunate.
fantastic. But during this time, man, with all this happening, you are, I wouldn't say trying, you're
Yeah.
making music. How tough has it been, A,
Yeah.
with the pandemic going on, and B, trying to get a wedding happening?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the pandemic has changed how I'm making music. That's
Mhm.
true. It's really, you know what? It's made me learn a lot, though. I have to say. I mean, I'm working so much more out of my home studio now, than I ever have. I used to sort of write and demo and stuff, but I'm actually tracking the parts now for the records here,
Oh,
which
wow.
is which has been really cool. Yeah. I mean, my longtime collaborator, Dave Thompson, down in Nashville, Dwayne, as we all call him, he'll send me up a session, I'll send him a session files, and we're just sort of sending stuff back and forth. And there's actually this program that allows you to monitor in real time. So he was, I think when I was tracking the vocals for Lightning Don't Strike Twice, he was like walking his dogs, down in Nashville, and like I'm hearing barking, and he's and he's like, sing it again, a little more intensity, let's go, let's try it again and stuff. So I mean, it's you just got to roll with it. It's been another area of creativity, another place to sort of feel inspired about. I do miss, of course, being in the studio with the band, or oh my god, I mean, getting on a stage and actually doing, actually playing and connecting with some audiences. But no, it's been good. If anything, obviously it slows everything down in
Yeah.
terms of when things are coming out. Deadlines aren't happening because touring is not really happening, and it sort of allows you to, it allows you the time to build these songs, to write these songs, and get them recorded sort of the way that you want. As opposed to, like my a record's out, first single's out, I have to get my second single out by this day, and and it's sort of like the pressure changes a little bit. It's a little less. But at the
Now,
same time, you don't know what the world is going to be like. You can't show it, you can't be on a stage touring it, so you just sort of put it out there and hope for the best.
now, you've got all of this stuff going here. You got the music happening and everything else. You're also fitting in shows because I know you've done a couple of virtual shows
Yeah,
during that
yeah.
time. Mentally, how have you had to work that when you're actually not seeing an audience and reacting? Because I've been to your shows, so I know what your shows are like. So, what is it like to have to readjust to keep that same energy going? But if you're lucky enough, you might see the bubble going on and saying, "Hey,
Right.
love it." How is that for you?
You know what? That's the hardest part. When you're trying to sing, trying to, trying to get in the moment of being in the song, and then you look down and you can't help it, but you're trying to read the comments as they're going up. And so the lyrics and reading the comments, you're like, oh man. You know what? It's how is the energy change? Well, how do you keep the energy up is you just try, you go to the same place that you try to go to live. The songs come from me. There's a meaning for me, they hold meaning, and I try to go to that place when I'm delivering them, virtually or in a concert. Of course the energy is different. Of course, you don't get that immediate connection the same way, but I mean, it really does sort of fill the void, as where to where these live concerts would be. Like, people do pay attention, and they do, and they do comment a lot, and you see a lot of the hearts going, and I think there is a collective, like, energy, and the way that I do it is it's a totally a request show. I tell, I sort of put it out that I'm doing it on this day, and tell everybody to send me, as many requests as you can, and I check it out and stuff. And I love learning all these new covers and stuff for people to do. And I do, a couple originals, and then I do a bunch of covers. So there is this sort of relationship through this, through these virtual shows that I love. It's been able to kind of keep it going. And I honestly think, I mean, when it started, there was, there's so much negativity and so much sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Pandemic pandemic brain. Like, people are really kind of feeling it. So I think that if this can offer a little bit of light into some people's lives, including mine, it's a great thing to do.
That was my next question. Mental health. What have you been doing to keep yourself going?
Oh man, I walk a lot. I work out regularly. I love it. I got my Apple Watch. Got to get my steps in here. And this was a gift from Amanda, actually, for my birthday just a little bit ago. And yeah, that's, it's funny. We did everything that, everybody does. Like, we learned to make a banana bread in the first wave. And we learned, I really am excited to get back to work. I'm excited about putting out all this new music. I try and write as much as possible. I try and get outside as much as possible. And yeah, and I find that the exercising and the outdoor hiking and stuff really kind of, it's a great way to expel that energy and stay positive. And then also, take a minute or 5 minutes, and just be grateful. Just look at everything that you got in your life. And it was something my mom used to say that all the time. She would tell me it was 30 seconds when I was growing up, but she's like, always remember to take, a minute or 30 seconds and really look around and see, see what you have, take stock of where you are, and try and appreciate life. And it's something that I keep with me all the time. So I definitely try and take a few minutes. And I think there's so much to be grateful for right now. So
Amen to that. And happy belated birthday.
oh,
My
thanks, brother.
apologies for not saying that earlier. You kind of
No worries.
mentioned you mentioned it earlier too. Let's get right to it, because one of the big things we're talking about is new music. You got a
Yes.
new single out, my friend. What's the single called, and what's
This,
the concept behind this?
so this song is called One Beer at a Time. And I just felt like, even though there was no touring, I really thought, okay, I want to drop a song right now that has a fun vibe, that is going to be a great addition to the live set when touring comes back. And, I think the last time I put out not that this is a party song, but a party song was on the second Autumn Hill record, which was a Good Night for Going Nowhere. And that was like, it's been that long since I dropped anything that had that kind of party vibe. So this song is essentially a breakup song about a breakup. Maybe you're not that broken up over. It's not all the way like, thank God it's over, but it's a little bit of that. It's I'm finding the good in goodbye, and I'm drinking you away. Essentially, is what this is. With every beer, one beer at a time. I'm getting over you one beer at a time. So
I'm just curious, is this the first drinking song that you've written? Because as a country artist, you have to have a drinking song, whether it be beer, whiskey, moonshine. Because if you don't do it, they'll kick you out of the club.
They'll kick you out of the club. Yeah, it's the unofficial rule. Luckily, like I said, this is not the first drinking song. Good Night for Going Nowhere had the backyard party, cups up kind of vibe. But it's been a minute. It's been a minute, and I just sort of thought that with all this pandemic fatigue and all that kind of stuff, I really wanted to put out something more upbeat, something more fun. Lightning Don't Strike Twice was the first single for the Mike Robbins solo project, and
Right.
that was a relationship song, and it was vibey and kind of dark and mid tempo. And I was like, all right, we're going into summer. I know we're not touring, but I want to put out a song that has that kind of vibe. I want to have some fun, and I hope people sort of feel the same. And I think they're going to relate to it. I mean, has pretty much everybody has gone through a breakup they can sort of relate to. And I got a buddy of mine whose nickname used to be Two Beers, who's sort of going through this right now. So this is unofficially becoming his new anthem.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so are we looking at just singles for the next little while? Or are we going to look at an EP or an album also following all of this?
So this is an amazing question. This is something that the team and I have gone through a few times. I have so much music. I've written. We have so many songs ready to go. Um, there is, like, when I was writing them and when I was creating the Mike Robbins project, it was definitely for a record. I mean, at least an EP. But again, with the pandemic, we're sort of seeing, like, what's the best way to sort of get through this. So I'm gonna say yes, there is a record coming,
Sure.
100%. I don't know when. I'm not sure, but yes, there is definitely a collection of songs that I can't wait to share, and they kind of run the gamut. There's heartbreak songs, there's drinking songs on this one. There's even some darker stuff that I really can't wait to share. I remember a long time ago you told me you were excited for a soul kind of vibe from a
Yes.
solo record, so there's a little bit of that in some of this. And yeah, it's been so exciting to create this new direction. I mean, I loved Autumn Hill. That was an experience that I absolutely was crazy about. I just, one of the best times in East Adelaide. Was a ton of fun getting to rock out with a couple of my good friends. And now doing the Mike Robbins thing, I'm really focused on delivering songs that mean something to me, and that I think will, add something to other people's lives. And I'm so pumped about it. So yeah,
Same here,
can't wait.
man. Same here. Just curious though,
Yeah.
any chance that any of this music, if it happens, like an album or whatever, can we see some old school vinyl on that?
Oh, 100%, 100%,
Nice.
100%, man. I'm pretty sure you know this, but my family still, is ranked in, like, Beatle and vintage music collectors. So we have an entire Beatle vinyl museum and everything, and up in my dad's place right now. So yes, vinyl is something that plays a part in my world for sure. I got the McCartney hanging over there.
Love it. Love it. I gotta show you my Beatles pen the next time I see you. I carry it around with me now all the time,
100%.
but it's one of those where it's just like I know if I hand it to somebody, I'll never see
You
it
never get it
again.
back.
Exactly. So we did talk about summertime and good times and stuff.
Yeah,
Part of the good times, of course, is we're hoping that things are going to open up for
of
shows and
course.
whatever. What are the talks going on with you right now? Are there going to be shows, maybe virtual, happening, or drive-ins in
Yeah.
Ontario or anywhere around? Are we in talks on that?
Definitely in talks on a few things. As you know, I try and do a virtual show every little while, anyways. There might, you know what? It's so tough. Like, with the restrictions being what they are and stuff. Like, there were originally some talks about maybe some smaller acoustic, more intimate shows.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely talks of drive-ins, and yeah, you know what? I guess that there are some talks with, like, doing some sessions live stuff, some virtual show stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see what's going on. It's summer sort of, like, coming together right now. So it's a little early for me to drop any concert dates on you, but who knows? I mean, I was seeing today that the vaccine rollout was changing. I think May 24th now.
Fourth,
It's
yeah.
like all adults. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Everybody's gonna do their part, and we can sort of get going on this again, because I know people are missing it. I'm missing it. I can't wait to get back on a stage. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers are crossed. Sorry, it sounds like I'm jumping back and forth, but I just
No,
remembered something I wanted to ask about
yeah, man.
with the music. Um, Are you doing music videos? And if so, how tough is it to do those music videos?
Oh, this is a great question. So, um, as you know, we did. I work with my good buddy Tim Deegan on, and his wife Leah Daniels, who's also an
Yeah.
incredible singer, and they're both amazing, videographers. And
Oh, and hold on a sec. Did they get married yet?
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't see anything on social media.
Oh, I think I just maybe I just I shouldn't have said anything.
Continue, please.
I'll go back to as far as I know. So we shot, we got to shoot that Lightning Don't Strike Twice video
Mhm.
in a barn on Leah's grandparents' sort of estate land,
Right.
before they sold it. It was one of the last things. It was amazing. And this video, we were going to do it at a brewery, obviously being a beer thing, and we had some really unique ideas on how to do that. And then the restrictions started changing, so that became maybe a smaller kind of dive bar, a small town dive bar that we loved. And then restrictions started changing, and so it ended up being me in a white room with some fun. It's got now. So we were like, all right, what are we gonna do? So okay, we need Mike in the video. We need beers in the video, and what else could be a party? So we got like a confetti cannon, some balloons, and we just sort of went for it. But honestly, it worked out great. I mean, there's one scene that Amanda, I was sort of there holding a couple of beers, and you see Amanda's arm sort of come in, drop some more beers in when I'm holding, and it was a super, what do I want to say here? Super low production, sort of thing, but it was real, and it has this great character. And I think Amanda throws a sparkler in a beer at one point that I was kind of drinking to be funny, and then Lee is throwing a beer on my lap, and we just honestly, it was one night. It was this little white room with some white photo paper, and we were like, let's go, let's just
Wow.
get it.
That's the thing I've been amazed about the music videos I've been seeing so many people doing during COVID-19 and with the restrictions,
Sure.
the imagination that they've come up with, and everybody said the same thing. This was the video to do. I'm glad that I had the restrictions to make me
Yeah.
be more creative to come up with something like this.
100%, 100%, and it changes. I mean, it changes the vibe. So it makes you more imaginative for sure.
Yeah,
Makes you, I mean, I don't want to say more creative, but you definitely feel creative like while you're going through it.
a
But
different type of creativity.
yeah, exactly, a
Yeah,
different type of creativity. But the vibe was just so much fun. We were just like, okay, we're in the COVID restrictions being what they are. Let's just go for what we talked about a couple of ideas, and we were like, okay, I think the whole first shot of the video is just like one shot. I mean, you'll see it. I'll
cannot
send
wait for
it
that.
over.
Just curious. I know one of the last conversations we had, we talked about your fiance. Is she ever going to be singing in any of your songs?
Well, I mean, I got her arm in this video, so baby steps, baby steps. I hope so. I hope so. I probably weekly put that offer out on the table. I
Uh,
mean, hey, Nicole Kidman did it with Keith Urban. I'm like, come on, we gotta try.
exactly. Let's make this happen. All
We
right,
gotta
look, my
try.
friend, I'm so glad that everything is working out. I'm glad with the new music that's happening and everything else.
Thank you, man.
Um,
May 6th. May 6th.
May 6th. All
Yeah.
right. As we wrap this up, you've always been a super positive guy. Folks need to follow you on Instagram because they can't see about your workouts and your walks and everything else that you're
Right.
doing.
And dragging my dog across the
And
carpet.
dragging your dog also. What advice can you put out there for those folks who are still going through those tough times and it's hard to get those positive vibes going?
Oh man. Well, I think mental health is a deeply personal journey, but I mean, if there was something that I would say, I know it sounds kind of corny, but like I said, when my mom used to tell me growing up just to always take a minute in whatever's bad, whatever's going on, and take stock of, where you are and what you have, and just try and find the good, and try and find a reason to appreciate it, because no matter how stressed out and how bad things look, there's always something to be grateful for. And I mean, I think that's so important. I know it doesn't make everything better, and I'm not trying to be preachy, but it really does, for me anyways. And then side note to that, get some sleep and get outside and get some sunshine, because being cooped up is certainly something that isn't great, for anybody's mental health. My gym, actually, I was at this small business gym around the corner from my spot, just closed for good, unfortunately. And
Oh,
yeah, it's a tough time. So it's a tough time for everybody. So I mean, if you can muster up the strength to look at things, a little bit of positivity and a little bit of appreciation. I think there's always something to be grateful for, and try to remember
amen to that. And yeah, man, I'm looking so forward to going back to my gym. Oh my God.
that.
I
I know,
just
right? Just to get rid of some of this energy.
Oh, and some of this too. So yeah, either way. Mike, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, my friend.
Hey, man, always a pleasure.
Thanks for the great music and everything else. One of the big reasons why I got to wrap this up is because I think I heard the mailman, and I think that wedding invite is finally there.
Oh,
So
there you go.
I gotta go check because I'm standing out there waiting for that.
All right. All right,
give
brother.
her, give your fiance a big hug for me, man.
I will.
Be
She says
safe.
hi, by the way, of course.
Fantastic. Big love to the both of you, man, and definitely talk soon.
Thanks, buddy. All the best, man. Cheers.